If you're in payroll, benefits, or compliance, you know how quickly those headaches can pile up. But with Deal, it doesn't have to be that way. Deal PEO makes hiring in the U.S. simple.
And right now, you can get up to 3 months free. Just head over to deal.com/workdefined. That's DEEL.com/WRK defined. Welcome back, folks. It's another episode of It's About Payroll. We have an amazing guest tonight, Jennifer Lee. Before we get into it all with Jennifer Lee, we're gonna talk some news. You're gonna chime in on some news because I know she's got some stuff to share. But before that, Walt, what's going on, man?
Man, I'm good, Brian. Thanks for asking, man. It seems like 2025 just started and it's already over with, right? We're in
Blur.
the first quarter. We're going into year end. It's just been a blur,
A
honestly.
blur.
Yeah,
Really.
man. How about you? How you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. I'm living the dream, man.
Good.
I'm living the dream. Yeah. Do you have anything for us for around the horn? Some
Yeah.
pay news? All
So
right, what you got?
mine is more of a question that I posed, and
Okay.
I wanted to see what the average payroll employee, or how long it would take for the average payroll employee to make $1 million in their career. And so, yeah, I know that was a fascinating question. So it said it can take the average payroll employee with, average salary and consistent career progression, 15 to 20 years to make $1 million,
Okay.
versus the common careers. It said it can take them between 30 to 40 years.
What is a common career? What does that mean?
So a common career that's
A
like
non-payroll?
non-payroll, yeah.
Okay.
So
Very interesting. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting to share. It might be a larger conversation piece eventually,
Yeah.
but just wanted to say, like,
Definitely good to hit.
payroll may be a good career, because I know that we did the research and we said that we're aging out,
Yep.
right? And we want to get some new talent in and stuff like that. So that may be a good key metric to share.
Look, man, I think that the universe is definitely speaking through you very well, because I was just thinking, as we come close to publishing our book, and Jen is gonna be about basically a recruiting tool to payroll, right? And the vision is have payroll folks read this if you're interested, or if you new grads, read this. If you're interested, come on. So I think that you and I need to do. I think there's 16 chapters in the book. I think we need to do 16 episodes, make it the whole season, right? And if it's not the whole episode, because they got to go buy the book, so we do like half the episode, tease, right, and just give them the broad strokes.
Mhm.
And that's not in the book. I don't think making $1 million is in the book. So,
No,
right?
it's not. I just did a whole
Exactly.
other podcast on that
No,
exactly.
what?
Wow.
What do you mean making $1 million?
No, about payroll not being in the schools.
Oh yes.
Not being a traditional major of sorts, or talked about at the high school
Yep.
work fair, like we talk about the labor industries like electricians and plumbers and such.
Yes.
I just did a podcast on that a couple of weeks ago.
With who?
Brent Skinner.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Yes. We had Brent Skin. He's
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
right? He is so much fun. I love Brent. Thanks for coming on, Brent. And yeah, okay, so I gotta check out that episode out. Are you thinking about something? You got something to share?
Let's see. So I'm really big this time of year into mergers and
Ooh,
acquisitions.
I
Mhm.
love it. Go for it.
And so Heartland Payroll just got acquired by, I believe it's called Acrisure. I probably
No
pronounced it wrong.
way.
Wow,
Mhm.
that's big.
They
That
announced
is
it
because I'm
today.
familiar with both names. Oh my gosh. I've been definitely familiar with Heartland. I actually used their product last year in 2024. Solid tool. And Accusure, I've talked about them, but I've never used. Have you ever used Accusure?
No. Mm-mm. But
Okay.
I think it's a
So very
combination of like
interesting.
global
Okay.
payments. Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
That's cool.
So Heartland now. Oh, that's great.
That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're gonna see more of that in our space, because competition's getting hot and heavy, right? And it's like the survival of the fittest is on and popping in payroll
Mm-hmm.
for sure. And especially the new guy, like the newcomers are making it even harder because they're just fresh and new and not having to deal with all that legacy code and nonsense. Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna scratch what I have here. I'll talk about this another time. What I want to say to that is Bart Vanderstorm said something very interesting. I don't know, a week ago, last couple of weeks. He said the we're teaching AI on legacy, outdated code. So the ADPs of the world, great data maybe, but they're letting AI loose on some really antiquated code. So that's something to think about. I'm not a developer. I have no idea. It's just very interesting to talk, right? To talk
Yeah.
about and think about. But before that, let's talk about Jennifer Lee. We are privileged to have her here today, a true payroll and HCM pro. Jennifer is a diligent and resourceful professional with over a decade of experience in payroll and the HCM industry. Known for her innovative mindset, she has a keen ability to design process improvements that not only increase accuracy but also drive productivity. Beyond her technical expertise, Jennifer's strength lies in her ability to connect. Her excellent communication skills allow her to build strong rapport with both clients and colleagues, creating a collaborative environment that leads to positive, lasting results. And I'm here to attest because that's how we met. I was a client of Jennifer's back in the day.
Yeah.
And she's here tonight to share insights with us on her journey and lessons and things she's learned along the way. So please get ready. Let's lock in and let's listen to get this inspiring stuff from Jennifer Lee tonight. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that.
You deserve it. You're a powerhouse in the industry. I mean, you're all over the place. I'm Brent Skinner. You've been on Nick Day. I like me and her have been talking like on LinkedIn for 10 years,
Yeah.
15 years. And then all of a sudden, and I told her, I was like, I don't like asking folks that are close to me because I don't want to put them on the spot. As soon as I saw her on another podcast, I was like, "Oh, girl, you done did it now. You know, you got to come on, right? You're like, come on now." So I'm so happy to have her on. Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
happy here. It was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
It's good.
Let's
It's
jump
things
right
are
in. Walt, you want
busy.
to?
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump right in. Walt, you want to start us off?
Sure. So, Jennifer, can you tell us your payroll origin story?
Ooh, yeah,
Oh, like my journey.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I started as a payroll manager, like in a small manufacturing company, as like
You
so it was an
started
office
as a
manager.
manager. Oh, I
Yeah,
was gonna say, dang.
office manager, and it was
Okay, okay.
everything like GL,
Multiple hats. You wore multiple
payroll,
hats. Okay, got it.
and we were growing quite a bit. And we were with ADP, and it was um, kind of expensive, and it wasn't very user friendly for the owners to use. So we switched softwares, and I did the entire implementation, like from the time clocks, like installing the time clocks,
Oh my
doing
gosh,
the handprints for biometric, um, installing the software on the server because that was a thing back then.
dating yourself.
To
You don't
then
look.
doing the
You look.
payroll side of the piece, and that doing both sets of softwares plus the hardware um, was very eye opening into, because I was going to school originally for like IT. So it was like CCNA
Ooh,
certified and all that. And then when I did the software implementation, it really opened my eyes, and I switched my major to be database administration and went that route. But then I left there and went to a bigger company, and I took craft through their merger with Heinz. And
ooh,
then I went to Paylocity, and I spent some time there, and then
that's
it's
where we
in the
met.
same space. So like
Yep.
I've been on the payroll side like as a client, and then I transitioned to a service bureau. Um, and my transition into service bureau is like product and integration based. So,
Yes.
Wow.
but implementation is still a key, right? Because as much as we all like to say, we like to flip a switch and it's just going to
Yeah.
work. There
That,
is some implementation that happens. So
Wow.
That's so funny. That's what my mom thought. She's like, I thought you just flip a switch and go from one company to the other. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah, it's not magic. I wish it was.
Mm-mm.
No, it's
So
still work.
in all that, what what do you think is the most overlooked part in an implementation?
Sure. That's a good one. I'm gonna go just with communication.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Communication is the biggest thing that's overlooked in an implementation, because usually you have one group of people purchasing and saying yes, and that does not translate down to the people it impacts the most. Um, so that's kind of like what I chalk it up is like communications key, change management. Um, but then, like from a payroll perspective, right, we have to have good payroll testing and data mapping and all those things that happen. But really, like if you don't have the key players from the beginning, you're already behind.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, and that change management's really important, not just from administrative perspective, but all the way down to the employees, like
Yep.
because it's impacting them at the end of the day. So that's why I just
I
say
was
communication. If we don't
No, it's a
have
good one.
Yeah.
It's a really good one. I don't know how I read it, but Anita Latink said in her first book, right? It's such a drastic difference between the vendor and the client because the vendors do it every day. The client may have done it once in 10 years. So the communication there is such a just disparate, like big separation in how,
Mhm.
it's such a big gap to fill. So it's a good one. Love it.
it
Thank
is
you.
a big gap to fill,
Yep.
and then that's where like the change management comes into play, and all these software integrators come into play because it's really like from a vendor perspective, right? We've all gone through these morphs of, well, how fast can we implement a client?
Mm-hmm.
And now, right? And then, but client engagement's a thing. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
clients don't have the necessary resources to really implement this new software they just bought either, like at the same pace that the vendor wants them to go. So sometimes you'll find that, like, they'll offer change management vendors, hey, we partner with these people. Like, if you don't have the resources, here's another partner to help you get what you need out of your current system so you can move forward with your new system.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Awesome. So, Jennifer, let me ask you this question. During your career and your experience with implementations, has there been like a really hard implementation that you've been through? And could you speak to what went wrong and what you may have learned from that?
Sure. Yes. I've been through a couple. Um, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to come back to my original statement. It really was around communication,
Okay.
and not just communication, but ownership and accountability. So, you come into it and, you're like, this is the list of people, like, this is where we're stuck. And you have this group of people in this project, but none of them, there was not a decision maker. And we kept butting heads and we couldn't, like, so they did everything they were supposed to do. We surfaced, I don't want to say issues, but we've surfaced all the differences and where we need to go and how we need to do things, but we couldn't figure out how to get there because there were decisions that needed to be made, not just from like a configuration perspective, but sometimes I think what we forget is from a company process when we're implementing a new software
Mm-hmm.
is the business process, should it change? And nine
Yes.
times out of 10, when we're spending the amount of money that we're spending on this new experience, our
Yes.
business process should change. And a lot
Yes.
of the time, those key players to help make those decisions are not in the room.
Part of the conversation. That's right.
Wow.
So and it's happened multiple times, and it's really
Oh
just,
gosh. Yeah.
am I the person to make the decision? Sometimes. Am I the person to make the decision to kind of like, surface all the information and kind of point out where we feel decisions should be made so that we can lift the impediment and move forward in another space. And like, okay, well, we could see how this goes here and see how it goes. And then in a couple weeks, this other decision is probably going to be made, but we can wait until we see X results or something, and kind of use metrics and results to kind of also help some of that decision making. Even when it comes down to the business process, there's usually some metrics and test results that can be used to kind of help make those decisions.
Awesome.
Yeah. So let's see. If you're choosing between an all-in-one platform and best-in-breed system, or best in breed, what are factors companies should consider?
That's a good one too. Well, so if you're going to talk about payroll, I think the first thing you're going to talk about is whether or not you're going to invest in a PEO.
Oh,
Decide if that's for you or not.
right. Okay.
Because I think when it caught, and I hate to say this, but because you want everybody. Well, there's the market so big now. Everybody's making payroll software, but when it comes to all-in-one, a PEO is, sometimes it's in the company's favor to go to the PEO.
Yep.
When you're comparing an all-to-one, because sometimes the all-in-one has restrictions. We have integration restrictions. We have data restrictions. I can't, we have, we don't really have a good platform to import and export data easily and cleanly.
Have you ever wondered what really makes a generation tick? Who gets to pick the name? And why the slang keeps changing? Don't worry, I can help. My name's Dr. Megan Grace. On #Gen Z, I share the voices and experiences of Generation Z, how they're different from other generations, what moves them, and why they do what they do. In each episode, we go beyond the buzzwords and the stereotypes to dive into real conversations and the insights that matter to making intergenerational collaboration a reality. You can catch #Gen Z on the Work to Find podcast network and wherever you listen to podcasts.
And if it's costing you the same amount as a PEO, depending on the size of your company and how big your payroll HR team is, sometimes for the business, it's best to go to PEO route.
Let them deal with all that.
Right, because I don't really need the software, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it in the first place.
No, I'm with it. Yep.
So for all in one,
think about it.
Yeah, unless you're super small, under 50 employees, and you can do a ADP run or Intuit, and PEO is really kind of not for you just because of that insurance aspect, and then that's not the best option. But if you're 50 or more, PEO and all in one, it's a hard market. I mean, you really could go either way.
Love it.
Best in breed. Do I have access to my data? Do I have access to my APIs? How is my reporting? Do I have a way to mass update data, export data to really support, the payroll business process that you have at your company? It's really having access to that data and how fast can I access it and how fast can I change it? Because we're always in that mode of meeting deadlines.
And so quick.
Yes, because it moves so fast.
Wow. Great stuff. What, in your opinion, how could a payroll professional strike a balance between automation and human oversight in payroll or during an implementation?
Yeah. Well, during implementation, automation's a hard one. Only because, and I say this loosely, right? Because we're dealing with sensitive PII. So if you're working if you have the tools yourself to do it safely and securely, auditing spreadsheets and stuff is a great way to go. Sometimes your vendor might have an option. Sometimes if you're using an HCM lock, they have great software options where it's secure and safe, and they can audit that type of data, all the way down to probably social security number to identify differences, something to get you out of Excel formulas and all of that. there's really lots of great options out there. In general, so from that, you can also automate your configurations. Some of the systems allow it now. You could also automate validation, right? So, like, if I have an earning code in my system that doesn't have a tax code attached to it, surface that like in an email or, a notification in the platform. There's ways to do that. Or maybe just running the automation and getting the results, right, in a CSV file. It's still surfacing something that you probably would have to manually look at in a configuration screen in a payroll platform. But just like overall with automation and payroll, it's just like, it's a sensitive subject. So I like to say, even now, like, automation should handle transactions and humans should handle decisions.
Ooh, I love that.
Because sometimes it's an uncomfortable conversation, because even implementation today, whether you want to, the definition of AI is very, I feel like
Yes.
in our space, it's not well defined, because we're always talking about automation.
Yep.
And the automation itself sometimes makes teams uncomfortable. So that's kind of like when we talk about automation, I like to say, okay, let's talk about all the transactional things. And, it still allows, if needed, a human to make a decision.
So you don't even say the words. You know what words to not say and still talk about the subjects.
Yeah.
I love it.
Because
cool.
you got to get your audience, especially when you have a large mix of audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I am on the technical side, but not everybody is. So for me, I'd rather just talk about the technical piece and like, okay, A and B have to go where, but in these implementations, that's not always how it goes. So it's also like teaching like people on my team, how do you take the technical requirements or the configuration for implementation? Like, how do I get these configuration requirements I need from a group of people that, are not very technical and need more process,
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
I love it. Very politically correct you are.
I try.
That's the depth of experience right there, right?
Yeah.
So speaking of that, and I'm sure you've joined a project that's already underway. What are some of the red flags on that, or why I wouldn't want to do this type of thing? Because I know I've done that, and it's like, I've had to tell my leaders like, hey, you've already made the decisions that are going to impact this.
Yes.
So what are anything that sticks out for you, like when you're joining that type of project?
Yeah. I've had it on both sides of the house. So I've had it where like I've had to join a project, like me implementing something for a company. And the red flags again right away are like the lack of clarity, lack of ownership, and no change management support really at the end of the day to help make these changes throughout the organization. And again, people forget, I think sometimes, and I say that, and it's so high level, but like it's so many levels. It's your payroll team, it's your HR team, it's your IT team. It could be a branch of finance. And eventually, by the time you get to the bottom of the tree, eventually we get to the employee. And it's a lot of change management. So when I get into those projects and if somebody's not giving me a good knowledge transfer, that right there is a good red flag as to why you guys are stuck where you are.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So, Jenny, can you speak to maybe like some tense moments that may have happened, like whether that was internally or with the client during a implementation, and how you navigated that tension?
Yes, I can do that. So it happens quite a bit when implementing clients, and so I get the tension on the call with the clients. It is really sometimes from a software vendor perspective, it's the handoff from sales to implementation.
Okay.
And what happens is you go on these calls and there are like 30 people on this call. We've purchased your software. We want to use you. We're so excited. Okay, I'm on this kickoff call. Well, I have all my stuff ready to go. Like, let's talk about earning codes and deduction codes and where I'm pulling demographic data from, and if your WFM data somewhere else. And they don't have the right people on the call.
Welcome to The Human Role, your go-to podcast where HR and payroll collide with innovation. I'm your host, Tiana Neal, and every month I'm diving deep with industry experts and change makers, bringing you real talk insights, practical tips, and fresh takes you won't hear anywhere else. Whether you're a leader, practitioner, or just curious about the latest HR and payroll trends, I've got you covered. Ready to roll with the best? Tune in for fresh perspectives, actionable tips, and the knowledge you need to roll forward with confidence. Subscribe now and let's transform the way you work.
Wow.
Well, can you just give us a demo again? Like that's not my, as an implementation person, I'm not trying to give you a demo. I'm trying to get what we need to implement you, get you out the door. So it becomes very uncomfortable. So that first conversation, usually sales jumps back in and they like basically, because there's weeks that go to sign this contract. So basically they rehash, well, this is what we sold you again. Thanks for signing the contract. Okay, what a waste of a call. And then they finally give us the right contacts. So your HR team, your payroll team. But then we take another stab at it and I get some HR people on the phone. Oh, yeah, we can create earning codes and deduction codes for you. Okay. And then I'm still like, by the time I get to the payroll team for testing, I've been on a couple phone calls where we've had both HR and payroll on the phone, and payroll's like, I don't understand why we weren't involved sooner. How do you expect me to test this the way you configured it, HR? And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, and trust me, like it was surface. Like I've asked several times, like, hey, we need a payroll contact on these calls earlier because we need to get to the testing. Like that's the most important piece, like is doing the payroll testing, checking the paycheck before you can, give this thing to your employees. And I've been on calls where it was not friendly conversation and kind of we've had to take a step back and like, okay, payroll team, give me what you need. CFO, give me what you need. HR, give me what you need. And we'll reconvene and I will write up a summary doc. So right away, I just try and get everybody's needs. And then I will go have separate phone calls with each team so that they can talk independently, let it all out, and then put the buzz at, hey guys, we have to regroup and we need to do this and we have to get here. So kind of get a feel for payroll team. Like, do you want a separate call with me? Yes. Let me understand. And it's basically rehashing everything I went through with the HR team.
Wow.
And then sometimes they'll want to like, okay, thank you for that information. I have a better understanding now. Let me go back to my internal partners to kind of talk about some things. It's, it's all those things that we read on LinkedIn every day, like about having a seat at the table. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
And now the implementation that was 3 weeks in and making good progress now took an extra 6 weeks because payroll didn't have a seat at the table.
Yep.
And then the software vendors all pissed off, like, well, I get paid when we start to turn on the product. Well, I ask it, we ask for these things. I understand they're not the people signing to purchase. And I understand that, but we have to get to a point where how do we get the seat at the table? Because it's, everybody's kind of stepping on their own toes and we're our own worst enemies sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. I love the comment. All the posts we read. So speaking of which, what's a common misconception people have about payroll systems?
Oh, I love this question. I love this one. So, okay, let's talk about it. I think the most common misconception is that people think that payroll systems do payroll. And that's not the case. People do payroll.
Yeah, I love that.
Yep.
Even at a PEO, right? Like, even if you have a
Heck
PEO,
yeah.
there's a person there
Yeah.
doing your payroll, looking at your timesheet, touching your deductions. Yeah. Is it open enrollment? Is it a new hire? You know, there's a person doing payroll. The payroll system does not actually do it.
So, not by itself. Not
by
yet.
Itself. No, not yet.
Not yet.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking it. I don't know what, I'm putting it out in the world.
I would love for it to do more stuff by itself, believe me, because it would save me more time and just I can analyze and report on the things instead of doing the things, right? Being more transactional. Like we talked about one time, and we give you a nice alley-oop for this next one, Walt, right? We just be a co-pilot, right?
Yeah. So perfect segue, like you said, Brian. So in terms of AI and payroll, do you think that it's overhyped or underutilized?
Ooh.
Good one. It is both.
Mm.
It is both.
No doubt.
It is overhyped and underutilized. Like
yes. Oh my, that's so true.
We don't, in payroll world, we don't have a real definition of AI.
Mm.
We have machine learning, we have automation, predictive analytics, and we can all call it AI. I could put it into a chat. Like, there's so much flexibility there. So it's really like, I think it's overhyped in the space of we're resurfacing old features, calling it AI. And really
good salespeople reframing.
Yes.
It's like leftovers. It's like when you remix a leftover.
Yes. And that's where I feel like it's overhyped very much. And then I feel like it's underhyped where, really want payroll and HR teams to embrace the technology and not knock it. So how do we get there to embrace it? But then also, like all the things you hear people talk about LinkedIn about, we're using AI to build a payroll engine, or we're using AI to teach, the old code. And people are exploring and trying these things as they should. We should be ruling them out. I mean, it costs money to do it, that type of development to that aspect, but why not? There's new payroll companies popping up every day. So if somebody is taking a different angle and trying to prove some of this out using AI, like, that's really exciting. And I'm just beyond excited to see, like, who ends up where.
Yeah. All right, awesome.
No doubt. So fast forward, we're done with the implementation now. We've gotten past all of it. How do you measure success? What does success look like?
Yeah, that's a good one too. So payroll being at heart, payroll accuracy. Payroll accuracy, that first paycheck, the first tax distributions. That will always be my number one.
Tax.
Tax.
The whole,
Yes.
So it brings it kind of back to the fundamentals. And I've seen that somewhere online right now. Back to fundamentals. Yeah. Accuracy would be, did it do it right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So I am going to kind of take people out of it, the change management of the process. The most successful is the accuracy, because it comes all the way down to your liability, right? Because anytime we need to correct something, it costs money to process the payroll, it costs money to do the amendment,
Jenny,
all the things.
Is it only the first paycheck after go live or is it when W-2s get filed?
Yeah, no, that's
or is it both, right? Like, right? So you kind of gotta, like, if you got a 1-1 check and you're going along famous, but now fast forward a year later and W-2s don't look accurate.
So
Was that implementation off, or did just something happen through? We may never know.
That's a hard. So okay, that's a
I know.
fair
I
question.
threw a curveball. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's challenging. So the first thing I would say, I think it depends when you start. So if you're a January 1 start and you're starting that new, your hands are clear of it, right? If you're a mid-quarter start,
Ooh. Yeah.
it's all on the payroll team. And I hate to say it, right? But it is kind of, depending on your reporting and what your payroll vendor's offering you,
Yeah.
more than not, it is a manual exercise.
Yep.
When you do like a mid-quarter start or something.
Oh,
So
yeah. I knew this. I knew it was gonna be a good one with Jenny, bro. I knew it was gonna be a good.
It's great. It's great.
Yep.
So, Jenny, let me ask you, what is one thing that you wish that every CFO or maybe every finance team understood when it comes to payroll systems or payroll implementation?
their people need a seat at the table first and
No
foremost. And it has to be an outcomes kind of discussion so that it's not like people don't feel like I'm taking orders or I'm not being heard. Like, I think the CFOs need to express what they want their outcomes to be and let their front, those key people that are going to make sure like it's going to get implemented right. We spent our money right. Our liability is going to go down. We're going to configure the system right and have efficiencies in certain areas. So maybe my amendments are going to go down dramatically with Paylocity versus ADP or something. Let them do what they do best, but communicate what your outcomes, what you would like them to be as a CFO.
Gotcha.
And getting that, but it needs to be early on. It needs to be at the time,
like all the key people have to be at the
Yes.
table from the beginning.
Yes, from the beginning.
Right? Yep.
Like
And
all
I
the
know those
stakeholders.
are hard conversations because you know how it goes. Like those key people, there's water cooler talk, and sometimes
Yeah.
the company's direction. I don't want to say sometimes, but it's more so than not. Things are not communicated till the contract's signed.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But
Oh,
even
gosh,
at
yeah.
that point, there's still opportunity. So you sign the contract, everything's signed. There's no going back.
Yep.
Even at that point, there is still opportunity to bring them to the table earlier to have those productive conversations before you even start talking to the vendor.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So you guys can align internally, because that's the troublesome too. Like sometimes the people at the company are not aligned internally and you're on the phone with the payroll implementation person. And sometimes that becomes awkward because everybody's like, what about this? And what about this? And it's like, who am I supposed to listen to? You guys don't sound like you're aligned. And that could be challenging because that comes down to who we are as people and how we're being coached by our management. Because if you're kind of non-confrontational, you're going to kind of just maybe not interject when you should for your own good. And sometimes they'll let it go and they'll just do whatever anybody says. And then when you're testing, you're going to find payroll errors in implementation versus maybe saying, team, I don't feel like, so-and-so company team, doesn't sound like there's a real alignment here. Here's what I need to successfully implement to your payroll. How about you take these things back and we reconvene in 2 days or next week or, something like that. So,
yeah. Love it.
So let's switch gears a little bit and have a little fun, break it up here. If payroll implementations were a reality show, which one would it be?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's like, ooh.
I think it would be Big Brother.
Ooh.
Big Brother, our Survivor, yeah.
Get ready to turn up the volume on your HR game. I'm Jay Arnold, former musician turned HR leader and host of Backstage Pass, the HR Rockstar. Each episode pulls back the curtain on key HR topics, from leadership lessons and bold career pivots to the latest in HR tech and talent strategies, featuring the rock stars within their industries. If you're ready to shake up the status quo and amplify your impact, This is your All Access Pass. You can catch the show on the Work Defined Podcast Network and wherever you listen to podcasts. Subscribe now and let's rock the future of work together.
Yay. Give me a few minutes. Survivor. I like Survivor. Yes.
What do you say, Jenny?
I was gonna go with like ridiculousness.
Oh, oh my God, that's funny.
Could
Oh,
you
I love
imagine
it.
if we took clips from like some of our phone calls and even maybe
Oh.
like some just meetings
Yes.
that you like?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my
yes.
goodness.
We need to do that.
Oh my
Oh
gosh,
my God.
that's hilarious. So, Brian, would you say Big Brother or Survivor?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of them. You know, I wish I had my wife around because she watches more of the reality
Oh,
shows.
okay,
I'm,
okay,
trying, I'm
gotcha.
trying to think of the ones that she watched. I like ridiculousness.
That's
That's for
funny.
sure.
That's funny.
That's a good one.
Okay, yes.
Oh God.
What? No.
I have been asked. One time we were implementing, and this client wanted to insert data into the application, like fields that just did not exist. Like basically entering employee data that belonged in more of a payroll software versus like a WFM software. And they wouldn't let it go for like the longest time until we
Oh my
had to sit
gosh.
down and have a very hard conversation. Like, okay,
Oh wow.
this is for your time
Hey, we
clock. This is for
cannot.
here. Yeah, like
Wow. Yeah, that's
My
a tough
goodness.
one.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. I don't know if you know, but we play this game called This or That, just to break things up, have fun. What, you want to start her off and I'll finish it up?
Yep. I'll do the first three. All right. So, number one. Oh, you can say either one of these. You can say neither.
Either.
Yeah. So,
Whatever.
would you prefer leading an implementation or year-end tax fund?
Shit.
year-end tax fund.
Word. That's what I was. I'm like, I think you're in tax one better than that.
All right. So, do you prefer country music or R&B?
R&B.
All
I knew
right.
that for some reason.
And all right, last one. Would you rather eat an Italian beef or a Philly?
Italian beef.
Italian beef?
From
All
Chicago,
right.
man.
Yep. Okay. Oh, this is so funny because we were just talking automated workflows or manual control.
That's a good one.
Yup. More so because we like literally just talked about it.
So, it's interesting. So, like the clients that like are very true to SOX compliance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding a trend now to like where they had like we have all this data. Like the whole point of SOX is like again a liability tool, so that we're not touching the data, right? So we're trying to find the truest form of automation as far as we can go from A to Z, and then if we get to like say whatever, and now there's this manual process that they and it's documented, right? And it's documented and it goes through this whole certification. We're finding an influx in those types of customers where they have like a manual workflow governance today. They're looking to automate it. So basically, so it's like looking at certain data points. So like say if I wanted to, there's discrepancies on the time card, but I'm using 3 different reports to identify that there's a discrepancy. It's like putting all that data essentially in a data warehouse, and then they give me the rules, and then basically using automation. So if it falls within this criteria, I'm just going to automate it and we're going to auto approve the time card. So it's getting really down to those manual workflows that would do an audit or discrepancy. We're finding companies really, can we take it a step further with our acceptance criteria and can we automate it?
Right.
So
what do you prefer?
That's a great
You
question.
dancing around the question here. Come on.
I am dancing around the question. Okay.
So
So
both?
if I have access to my validation rules,
Okay.
I have access to it, and I can always tell. Like I can audit it, right? I can easily audit it in the event
Then automation
this
is fine.
automation rule is going to cost me money.
I love it.
If I
She's
have
like,
confidence,
I love it. Holy cow.
I'm for the automation 100 times over, as long as
But you want to be able to peel back to see what's back there if you want to question, trust but verify.
And I don't want it to take 6 months, and I don't want, I don't want to sit in a ticket queue for a
So
year.
it's both.
Ticket queue.
I want, like, if I want to crack open my, my third party, like my Boomi, or, maybe a middleware that I'm using, or even if we're doing our own coding internally, I want to be able to look at that code and that validation rules to go back then and state my case and take what I need to take to be like, hey, I'm going to own this liability or I'm not.
Yeah.
I can't wait 6 months or a year for that. So if I have access to the data that's supporting that automation, 100%. If I don't have access to it and I can't see it, and the company that I'm using, the turnaround time's too long, or they're like, if they're like, oh, I don't know how I get that data, or they can't answer my question, I'm going to go manual all day long.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Legacy system upgrade or fresh build? Excuse me, fresh build.
Fresh build.
All right.
No doubt.
Fresh build. Throw the legacy stuff away, because those business processes need to get thrown away. Just throw it all away, people.
No doubt. Be gone. All right. Last one's got to be easier. Love Island or Love is Blind?
Love Island.
Oh, wow. Okay. Gotcha.
Nice.
All right.
Oh, man. Walt, man, end us off with this great quote, bro.
You got this one, Brian.
I got it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't measure myself by others' expectations or let others define my worth. Sonia Sotomayor. No doubt. I like it.
I like it.
Yes, sir. Right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Highly anticipated, and so much more. Like, you got to come back again, and I really enjoyed talking to you. So much more. Got me firing. I'm going to be hitting you up on LinkedIn with all kind of questions.
You have my number. Just
yes, we've transitioned. Yes, absolutely.
You upgraded your process.
We upgraded our it's not as manual anymore. Oh man, thank you so much, Jenny. Yes. Hold on. Well, to the rest of you, we love you. Thank you so much. Till the next time. Peace.